on Friday. What's in?
Really? It's okay.
I'm gonna go pull out my texture file.
All right, so it's happening. On Friday, I said that I thought it might, but now it is for real. So this is the last time for at least a while that we will be meeting in person. Starting tomorrow, we will be meeting via Zoom, not Zoom, sorry, via Google Meets. There will be, I know, Aurora, the look on your face, I know, I feel it, I feel the same.
Yep, I
But-
know I don't like it. I'll probably call my mom to pick me up.
No.
You probably call your mom to pick you up? Well, that's just going to start you on the long distance learning even sooner. Well, you might as well enjoy your last day here.
We're making an easy last class here.
So, aren't they all easy?
Not rarely.
So what we are doing is I will be posting a link on the Google Classroom every day at, right now is the period 1 class, which means that we are actually meeting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So each one of your classes is going to be 55 minutes. You'll have all of your classes every day. They're not long classes anymore. They're down to only 55 minutes. So I don't know how many classes all of you have, presumably something like 4 or 5. I have 4 classes in a day, and this is my schedule. So what you all need to do is to write down or type for yourself or something what your schedule is. So you need to figure out what period everything is because you're not used to even thinking about that anymore. So you need to figure out, and in the rest of this class, if you're not sure, I can look up your individual schedules and help you to figure that out.
So we can go for that?
There is probably somewhere on the Chromebook that you can go for that. Do I know where you can go off the top of my head? No. I only know where I would go to look up your schedule. Where you would go, I'm not sure. So we are this one. I have another grade 11 class that is 9 o'clock in the morning, which is right now. It's going to be even more confusing for them. Well, it's more confusing for me because my morning class is now in the afternoon and my afternoon class is now in the morning. But what are you going to do? And also my lunch is at 10 o'clock in the morning, which is a little bit early for lunch. But again, what are you going to do? So the way it's going to work is once everyone logs into the meeting, the Google meeting, I take attendance for who's there. I will talk for a little while, as long as I need to, I guess. I'll go through a daily edit, but I don't know yet if I'm going to, I can't give you the slips of paper, so I don't know if I'm going to be asking you for answers. Maybe I will. We'll see how it works. I haven't used the Google Meets before. So maybe there's a way for you to put your hand up and I can ask you, Logan, what have you got here? What kind of mistakes have you found? What's that?
The Google Meets is just like Zoom, like you can see all the kids and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, another question. Are we gonna have to have our mics and cameras on?
Are you going to have your mics and cameras on, not for an hour?
Just when you call on us or something like that, or?
Yeah, just like at the start of class, we'll talk a little bit, and then I'll give you an assignment, and then you go and do the assignment. You don't have to have, so at the start when we're talking, then mics and cameras on. But once I've given you work to do, I don't need to watch you writing stuff or reading stuff, right? So it doesn't matter. You can log out of the meeting at that time. Now, there's lots of bad parts to this, but the good part to this is that there won't be any homework now. Except, of course, the fact that it's all homework. But I mean, outside of your school day, all of the work that I'm giving you while you're here, you'll be doing during class, right there. You shouldn't have anything left to be done afterwards. The next day, I'll talk for a few minutes again and give you more time to work on stuff. So you'll be working on stuff during this period every day. So that means that you shouldn't have to be spending evenings and weekends working on school assignments. I think it's next Monday. Today is what? 23rd. Yeah, so next Monday has been scheduled as a teacher in-service day, so you'll have no classes that day. But now it doesn't mess up your schedule anymore because you're going to have this same schedule every day. Somebody asked me how long this is going for.
How long we're gonna be homeschooled?
Good question. You're not homeschooling, that's different. But how long are you going to be remote learning? The answer is nobody knows.
We're gonna have the same problem like last year? No.
So right now, so what happened is, as I'm sure you've heard, the COVID numbers in Steinbach and in the RM of Hanover are really, really bad. Like the worst in the country bad. And so they're shutting us down and telling everyone to stay at home so that we can get those numbers back under control. Because they had on Friday 40% test positivity rate for Steinbach. When New York City got to 3%, they sent everyone home. We're at 40%.
We were trying to be careful.
Well, we were trying to be careful, at least some of us were, but the problem is that they probably should have locked us down a lot sooner, and they didn't, and now it's out of control. So, Bianca?
I think that it's probably because of the airports too, because they're not closing the airports right now. They should.
Well, it's probably because of the airports. I don't think that, so does Steinbach have an airport? Well, it does, but it doesn't have an international one. It's not a commuter airport or a travel airport. Winnipeg has an airport. Winnipeg's test positivity rate is 13%, which is bad, but it's nowhere near as bad as 40%. So I don't think we can blame the airport because we don't have one. And we're worse than places that do have one. It's a good theory, though. But they're going to keep us learning remotely, is what they're calling it, remote learning, until the numbers are better. They didn't tell us how much better. They didn't tell us, and they don't know. They're just going to decide day by day at what point is it going to be safe to reopen schools again.
What?
So what the principals told us, we had a staff meeting yesterday. Yesterday was Sunday, if you're not keeping track. We had the first ever Sunday staff meeting via Zoom. And they were talking about 2 weeks. We're almost 100% sure that it's going to be at least 2 weeks. There's no way it's going to be less than that. Could it be more than that? Yeah. Yeah, it could be more than that. We don't know what's going to happen with the numbers, but if we're at 40% test positivity right now and hundreds of active cases, then in 2 weeks, it's hard to imagine that we'll be back to safe low numbers or no numbers. So what I kind of expect is that this is going to go on at least until Christmas. That's my guess.
With our numbers though, are they not saying it's not school, community-based transmission?
Well, they're saying that what they have been saying is the reason they didn't shut schools down sooner was that they didn't have evidence of the virus being transmitted in schools, which means that Aurora's right. We're doing a good job here of taking all the precautions that we're supposed to take and obeying the rules, but they don't know that it's being transmitted in schools, but the other side of that is they also don't know where it is being transmitted. So it's gotten to the point where the cases are just popping up everywhere and nobody knows where they're coming from. So you kind of have to assume that some of them are coming from schools. And are there any other buildings in Steinbach where there are this many people? I don't think there are. So it doesn't make sense to have us keep doing this. I'm not in the business of trying to defend the decisions of either politicians or of healthcare workers. Neither of those things have anything to do with me. I'm just reporting to you what has been reported to me.
Yeah, or even the Prime Minister tried, they could to help. It could for the school or anything, it could
Mm-hmm.
for the COVID.
Yeah. So, questions?
We got nothing.
Got nothing? Okay. You got this? 2 o'clock? 2 o'clock tomorrow. I'll see you on the webcam. 2 o'clock tomorrow.
2 o'clock in the morning or?
And the day after that. Not 2 o'clock in the morning, no.
That'll be way too early
Probably
and too late.
Probably afternoon, yes. That's a solid deduction. Although if you wanted to meet at 2 o'clock in the morning, you can, but I won't be there. You can start your own Google meeting at 2 o'clock in the morning. That's just a joke. That's just a joke.
That's not funny.
No, I'm usually not. I'm usually not funny. It's true.
Can we do a different project outside of EA class? Probably
Sure you can.
a short story or something?
I will never stop you from writing stories,
Because that's the point of ELA.
because that's a large part of the point of ELA, yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm with Bianca.
All right, so you guys comfortable?
A little bit.
Define comfortable.
Do you think it's going to be an absolute gong show, Jim Jam?
Yeah, we're boring.
What do you think is going to happen?
I don't know. I already know that like 5 of my friends are planning on dropping out. That's how much
What
it sucks.
What do you mean dropping out?
They just don't want to do that. They want to go work. They don't want to be in those Zoom classes all day. So I don't know. It's kind of suck.
So I expect that a lot of people are going to make that decision
Yep, and
to go and work instead. The thing is, like, some businesses are still open,
yep.
but
Oh, that wasn't.
Yeah.
Or
Before
probably,
you told the lockdown, which stores stay open? What's essential?
Essential is
Food
food and gas.
That's basically it.
and
That's
water.
basically it. So other businesses can remain open, but you can't go into them. So what that means is that if you want some, well, probably you don't, but I'm speaking from my perspective now. If I want some lumber, then I call the lumber yard and tell them what I need, and I pay for it over the phone, and then I pick it up outside. I can't go into,
Curbside pickup kind of thing?
yeah. So most businesses are going to be doing curbside pickup. And you just can't go into places. What they're encouraging everyone to do is to just stay home, not go out anywhere that you don't have to, which is the whole point of a lockdown. So the problem, Jim Jam, with, and I understand the impulse to, well, if this is what's happening, then I'm out, I'm just going to go and work. What happens if we're only out for 2 weeks? And we're back, and then, like, are you going to throw away a whole year over having to do webcam meetings for 2 weeks, or even 4 weeks? I don't know. Like, those are your decisions, but students who are under 18 are not legally allowed to drop out of school. It's not to say that anyone can stop you, but you can't drop out. All you can do is fail and then not graduate and be a year behind. And that's not awesome either.
yeah, it's gonna be more boring.
Then they cannot find a proper job if they drop out of school.
There's enough proper jobs.
Well, it depends on how you define a proper job, but certainly you don't require any special education to catch chickens.
I'll
That
call
would
my
be
friend for
fun.
that.
And, to the contrary of what the guys in the trades will say, you don't need any special education to swing a hammer either. You need some special education to be the guy who plans where to swing the hammer and for how long. But you don't need any education to be the guy hammering nails into stuff, So there are jobs, sure. What you consider a proper job is your own individual judgment, I suppose. But anyways, I hope that we can do this. Jim Jam, that your friends that are angry about this, I hope that they know that this isn't, their teachers or even their school making these decisions about this. This isn't up to us. And it's going to be the same for everybody. And there's nothing we can do about it. So we'll do the best we can. All right. Unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about with that? Are there going to be a lot of people repeating grade 11 English?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's never gonna be easy forever.
Yeah. Maybe. But I would say this, while this might seem tedious, this is also, if you just do it, it's pretty foolproof. Like, no one who logs in every day and spends the time that they're supposed to spend during class working on the stuff they're supposed to work on is going to fail. You're only going to fail if you refuse to participate. So if people refuse to participate, then that is up to them. And I will encourage people to participate, but I'm not chasing people. I'm not chasing the guy that's supposed to sit right there that never actually does. He makes his own decisions and faces his own consequences. So I think that about covers that. Let's do that edit. You guys all got 10 mistakes found? Aurora, how many have you got?
I got probably 2 of them, and I got nothing.
Okay,
It's not that
well,
Aurora.
find one more right now.
I got a few at least.
One more.